You know, I mean, it was actually a pretty decent budget for back in the day. And SOTA was really known for doing a lot of straight-to-video stuff back then. And, you know, we had a really good reputation for doing a lot of good work on a really low budget. But this one actually had a good effects budget. It wasn't horrible at all. It wasn't, you know, but it was challenging. It was a lot of stuff, and I don't think there was a lot of build time in it. I think it might have been 4 or 5 weeks to build everything for that movie. I had a business partner back then named Jerry Macaluso, and he was mostly the art guy, and I was more the technical guy in the company. Jerry would sculpt everything, and then I would actually make it and do the effects kind of stuff. But Jerry and I had just finished a movie for Overseas Film Group called Fist of the North Star, and Zane Levitt was one of the producers on that. And then several years later, Jerry and I were up in Montreal doing Night of the Demons 3 for Republic, and we got a call from Zane and said he was going to do the next Amityville film, and they wanted us to do it. So as soon as we got back, we met with Steve and we started that movie, and that's where I met Steve White to do Amityville Dollhouse. Oh, it was crazy. So I remember we were really excited. We were up in, like I said, we were up in Montreal finishing that other movie, and we were so excited to work on an Amityville film. And we had met Steve, and I don't know if he remembered meeting us several years earlier. He did a movie called Scarecrow, and we had gone into bid on that, and we didn't end up doing it. And we had met him on that, and we always thought he was really cool, and we knew that he had, you know, been over at New World and done Hellraiser, so we were big fans. And when we got to do this and actually work with him, it was really cool for us. And then having done Amityville Dollhouse, you know, we went on and did probably 4 or 5 other movies after that for him. And it was a great relationship. He's a great guy. Basically, what we do is we read the script and we do a breakdown of every line item effect in the movie, and then we do a budget for them. And then we'll meet with Steve and do designs for the character's dead dad. I think we had done some designs for the little voodoo kind of dolls with the bugs in them. And the biggest part of it for us, well, one of the hardest part of it for us was making that dollhouse. So, you know, and that was pretty cool. You know, obviously we had the design of what the Amityville house looked like already, but doing what was inside of it and everything was pretty challenging. Oh yeah, the demons at the end of it. You know, I think, so how those demons came about, at the end of the movie, there were supposed to be all these demons in the movie. So Zane had talked to us, and they originally wanted to use silhouettes, like cardboard cutouts and stuff like that. And it was you know, we said, look, we can do better than that. You know, we have a lot of creatures we had done Weird Science TV show and all these other movies that we had a lot of creatures just sitting around, and we said, let us kludge together all these creatures, you know, and as long as you keep them silhouette and background kind of things, you know, and don't show them really close, that's going to be better than cardboard cutouts. So that's how all that came about. Those were a lot of pre-existing stuff that was cobbled together, like it was a bit of something from Mirror, a bit of something from Weird Science, and they were all put together into new creatures. Yeah, when we did the Dead Dad, I think he was done in 3 stages. And Jerry and I did drawings of what we thought it would be from beginning to middle to end, and then present them to Steve, and he picked what he liked, and then we would go back and refine it and make his changes, and then do a final drawing. I mean, this was back in the day before computers, so everything was done. You know, Jerry was great at doing pencil sketches and color renderings, and we did them all as you know, drawings. And then once Steve approved them, we'd do a life cast of the actor, and then we would do clay sculptures of the prosthetics. And what you do is you do a clay sculpture of each stage, show it to Steve, he'd make his comments, we'd make our changes, and then once those 3 sculptures were approved, we would make molds. And then after the molds are done, you inject the foam rubber into it to make the prosthetics, and there was, you know, I don't think there was time for makeup tests, so we did, I think the first day we did the makeups, that was what it was, but we had pretty solid designs before we did that. No, I think everything, it was very specifically designed for the movie. So there was nothing that changed in the script. It wasn't like we designed something that didn't get built. I mean, I think there were things that we did several, like what we'll do is several ideas. It's okay, Dead Dad. It's so here for this stage, here's a couple different ideas, Steve, which one do you like the best? And then he'd pick what he liked, then we would make changes based on that. Yeah, she was great to work with. So, and she went on to do that 70s show. It was really weird too, because it was You know, I didn't know. I'm watching that '70s show. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, she was from, you know, from Amityville Dollhouse. But she was great. You know, it was a bald cap and a bunch of burn prosthetics, and I think that makeup took, you know, maybe 2.5 hours to do on her. It was a lot of fun. Tom Calloway is a fantastic DP. He's been around forever. He did stuff for Dave Dakota and John Schuweiler back in the day. He's been around forever, and he's shot some really cool stuff. And getting to work with him again, you know, on Amityville, that was our first time working with him, and he was great. And we went on after that. We did a lot of other movies with Tom, and actually Tom directed a movie called Broke Sky that we did the effects for Tom, like in probably like the mid 2000s for him. He's fantastic. We started SOTA FX in 1989. You know, we had come out here and worked for other companies for a while first, and in 1989 we got 2 movies almost right away, back to back. And the first movie that we did, actually, I forgot about that. We did a movie called Steel and Lace, and Tom Calloway shot that movie for us. And I thought our stuff was okay. I didn't think it was fantastic, and Tom made the stuff look amazingly real. And then right after that, I did another movie where I thought the heads looked real in person. They were really fantastic, and the DP on that, they looked terrible. Like, I mean, it's all how you light it, because rubber does not read like skin. And you have to have a DP that knows what he's doing to light rubber to make it look real, and Tom excels at that. He's fantastic. Do special effects read differently on digital than film? Absolutely. So we've had to step up the game. We did a movie called Gods and Monsters, and that was shot on film, but it was done on a film stock called Vision, and it was more of a high-def film stock, and that was the first time that we had to, like, you know, make the edges cleaner on stuff. I mean, you always tried to do the cleanest makeup you could, but sometimes, like, because of time and stuff, it's like it was not, you know, it's not as good as you want. But the way it would read on film with the resolution, it was like you never saw it. Like, I mean, we did TV stuff for Weird Science where, you know, we'd do a makeup and I was like, oh boy, you know, it was really rushed. And in person, you'd be like, and then you see it on TV, I was like, oh, it looks fine. But HD shows everything. So the DP now is way more important now than it was back then. But the other thing that's really good about it is on HD, you see it on the monitor. Like, so what you see on the monitor is what you get. So you can make adjustments in camera, you know, right there on the set and fix something to make it look perfect for the monitor. Back in the day, you didn't know what it was going to look like. I mean, I always thought that was magical about a DP, because you'd sit there, he'd light it, and he'd shoot it, and you think, oh, that looks kind of cool. And then if we got to go see the dailies, you'd see how he would expose it. You know, and he was doing that. He knew what he was doing, how it would come after it was developed, you know, and the lighting would be amazing. Like, he would light it, and it would be really nice, but then you'd see it, and, you know, after it was exposed, and it would be like, wow, there's greens and blues and all kinds of stuff in there, and shadows that you didn't see in person.
Glad to see I still excite you, Claire.
I worked on a movie like 2 months ago, and the makeup artist from that was a girl named Constance Hall, and she had done the makeup on Amityville Dollhouse, and, like, she didn't even, you know, I look completely different than I did back then. And I said, you know, we worked together 20 years ago. And she's like, I go Amityville Dollhouse. And she's like, oh my God. You know, we talked about it for quite a while. It's definitely got a following. Like I said, my wife and I collect laser discs. And I go online on the Laserdisc group, and some of the people are like, one of the holy grails is Amityville Dollhouse. You know, and there was some guy on there like, I just got Amityville Dollhouse, and it was like, I completed my Amityville collection. I was like, that's pretty cool, but I mean, I think he paid $150 for it or something like that, and it's like, that's pretty cool though. So it's got a great cover. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. So I really, you know, like I said, I've recently gone back through my box of pictures and looked at Amityville Dollhouse stuff, and I'm pretty proud of it. Growing up, I saw the original Amityville movie in the theaters, and I'd seen all of them. I saw the first one in the theaters, and like the second and third ones I saw on like HBO. And then I moved out here, and then my friend Tony Randall directed 5, It's About Time, and we worked with Tony on Fist of the North Star, so it's all kind of incestuous. And Fist of the North Star is the movie that Zane Levitt produced that got us Dollhouse. And so getting to do an Amityville film was like, it was a dream for us. And what was really cool is we met a lot of people that helped our career along a lot. Like, I mean, Steve, obviously we did a lot of stuff with Steve after that. We did Halloween Town movies and some Paramount movies and, you know, things like that. And other people, it's just, even to this day, like I said, with Constance Hall, we still meet people we worked with back then. And it definitely propelled us farther. And I think there was a big Fangoria article about it and everything. It helped our career a lot. The mid-90s was fantastic, especially for makeup effects. I mean, it really it grew in the 80s. American Werewolf kind of skyrocketed makeup effects. And then a lot of companies popped up, and it kind of peaked in the mid-90s. And for us, there was a period from like 94 to like 98 or 99 where it was insane. Like, I mean, we never stopped working on, like I said, SOTA did all the straight-to-video stuff. We did Amityville Dollhouse and Night of the Demons 3 and Uncle Sam and, Children of the Corn 4, 5, and 6. And all these movies were just nonstop. So it was a heyday of that kind of stuff. And it was great because back then, I mean, they spent decent money on the stuff, and the movies had really good schedules. I mean, it's a lot more challenging now, and to this day, we do a lot of stuff. We still do a lot of work. The only thing these days, the money's still pretty good, but the thing is the schedules are shorter, and they shoot quicker because they shoot on digital. So it's that's really challenging. But but back then, boy, I got to tell you, it was great.